That game's woke. It's woke. That's woke over there. That game's woke. Okay, bro, we get it. Everything's woke and you hate it. And to be honest with you, I kind of agree, but not for the reasons that you think. In this seemingly endless sea of trash games that keep washing up on our shores from all these woke, studios and developers, I think a lot of y'all have forgotten a universal truth. It's all about the money, baby, not the ideology. I know what you're gonna say. They keep taking these L's, but they still pushing their woke. But you gotta think like a businessman, bruh. It's about marketing strategies, about throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks with a new and possibly budding lucrative market. See, when these big companies saw the BLM protests and the social justice warrior, groups, these communities, to them, they saw that as a huge untapped market. I mean, I'm not a marketing strategist or anything, but if you have a large group of young people seemingly on the same page with money in their pocket, it would probably be smart of you to create something that they're going to want to buy. So that's what the game companies decided they were going to do. They were going to market to the new gamer, the SJW gamer, because they figured, hey, this is money in the bank right here. So you go hire you a liberal that's all gas and no brake on all the liberal agendas that you think are going to be, marketable. These companies don't care about diversity and, anti-racism. They just want somebody who they think can sell that to you. You know how I know? These same studios that champion all these ideals can't not be involved in scandals every other week over the same things they claim to be fighting against. No, see, they want a liberal, that for that person, their ideology, it trumps all form of individuality, even though they claim the complete opposite about liberalism. Pretty much like all cults that tell you you're being yourself by joining them. Figure that one out. Oh, and don't worry, conservative, y'all gonna get y'all's too, so don't get too happy. See, the way they see it, this type of liberal, he's gonna have the secret handshake that you guys can be over there doing while the corporate guy is reaching in your pocket. And you're gonna say liberalism advocates for black people. No, liberalism advocates for liberalism. And you know this because every time these two come to a crossing of a path and a difference of opinion, liberals go straight 1950s poodle skirt. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. So what this liberal does is they go ahead and hire them a whole bunch of safe Negroes. That can apply to really any minority in this context. And no, that's not an N-word pass. See, these safe Negroes are trying to fit into the dominant society through liberalism or whatever they got to do. They ain't caring. So they'll fly the liberal flag as long as they get the job. And a lot of them, through societal, misconceptions about their own self, have come to the conclusion that this is what they're supposed to do, championing liberal ideology over their own self-interest, and because they think they line up. You see, the actual talented minorities who are not gonna fly that flag, they get overlooked. They pretend like they don't even exist in any context. That there's no such thing as a talented black person who is not a Democrat or a liberal. Okay, so now super liberal hired a whole bunch of people with probably not the highest talent, but the highest allegiance. And now we have a diverse game studio. For these, companies, they see this as a total win because they're, looking diverse and catering to this new market. Easy win, right? But here's the problem with hiring nothing but safe Negroes. Like we said before, you didn't hire for talent, you hired for lack of spine. And I'm pretty sure there was plenty other talented minorities out there that you didn't pick because they had backbone and wouldn't fly your flag. So now your group of the untalented 10th goes up against the corporate grind machine. Now they find out that not only did they pledge allegiance to liberalism, they pledged allegiance to capitalism. Now they're going up against impossible deadlines, crazy monetization schemes, corporate greed, layers of discrimination and sexism. Any room for growth and development gets completely destroyed in this environment, and you didn't have that much talent to begin with. You catching racism from the people that hired you to make games that speak out against racism. Figure that one out. So it's no wonder these teams churn out hot garbage. And when this refuse starts stinking up the joint, everybody looks at the people who made it and says everybody that looks like them is responsible for this. Oh yes, the conservatives. Enter the anti-woke is my personality because I wouldn't have one otherwise section of this video. You know, for the conservatives and their more traditional brand of racism, this is like shooting a fish in a barrel with a Mark 19. These absolute disasters are all they need to add to their black people make everything horrible narrative. And I hate having to admit that they're almost partially right, because it is indeed minorities making these terrible failures of games. But here's the difference. But they're not going to admit that these people making them are the pick-me's of this culture. They are not representative of black excellence or black talent. But I'd be lying if I said that they are not right in saying that these games are trash. As much as it pains me, I can't say they're wrong when they see a new game come out. It's got a black woman holding a baseball bat, looking like the classic stereotype with, you know, pink colors, all this kind of stuff. It's going to be woke trash. Yeah, I can look at that and say it, you know, and that's, I hate to do it, but it is what it is. But what they try to do is they try to use these as lightning rods to say everybody in every community that they don't like is a certain way, or, you know, lacking in talent or ability or whatever. And the only reason they have a certain job is because, you know, they were elevated above where they actually, their talent put them. But not every job has ideological elements to it. You know, your mentality and the way you believe about a certain thing doesn't have a bearing on every job you get. Now, a job in media creation, that's going to matter. So I guess we can say the conservatives and the anti-woke crazy people are right for the wrong reason. Now, honestly, they better hope the game stay woke, because without anti-wokeness, they have no personality. But fear not, neckbeard. Big Daddy Capitalism has got your back. Until he doesn't. Because as soon as the industry spots some shiny new ideological moneymaker or some other new potentially marketable subculture, I promise you, you're going to see mass layoffs and firing of these woke studios, which you're already seeing. It's happening because the market is drying up. And I say dry up, but really the market never materialized, not in the way they thought it would. Don't worry, conservatives, you'll have somebody new to hate pretty soon. I know that's exciting. Maybe they'll turn, you know, Mario into a flower person or something, and you can cry about how, you know, flowers messed up your childhood or something. I don't know. I know liberals gonna get mad at this and call me divisive or whatever, but I don't care. And here's the thing, you know, as far as representation, no community is ever represented accurately by a person being paid by the dominant class. I don't care how much they look like you. If they're being financed by the dominant class, they're not going to tell you what you need to hear, because that's not how a culture rooted in entitlement works. They are not going to pay you to subvert them. That's just not going to happen. Not in any actual meaningful form. That's why you don't see any paid talking heads talking about reparations, because reparations represents black people being able to finance other black people to represent black people, and that makes white supremacy all fall apart. They know this, liberal and conservative, and neither side is going to finance their own undermining. They ain't going to do it. At least I'll say they're not going to willingly do it. That upsets the status quo, which is the mission of the liberal, to maintain the status quo, because the status quo benefits them. Liberals don't really want to change anything. They just want you to stop complaining about it. Sound familiar? Two wings, same bird. And in the end, I just want to give a special shout out to all you guys who, you know, started hating people and engaging in justifying racism and sexism to yourself because you were fighting against the woke game companies. It was just all a corporate ploy the whole time. Congratulations. You win nothing. Bonus points to you minorities who engaged in self-hate and trash talking your own communities over it. That's a big L. It's a big L.